into the jungle, hungry wild animals. No more hesitating, we're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating, let's keep elevating. One for the morning, a two for the show. So buckle up, there's no telling where we're gonna go. A glory and fame, a silver and gold. So call us outlaws, we'll leave the fortune for the bold. No more hesitating, we're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Oh yeah. A 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly. We're headed straight for the sun. 5-4, a 3-2-1. We're gonna fly straight for the sun. No more hesitating. We're legends in the making. Gravity escaping, light speed breaking. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. Let's keep elevating. It's explosive. You can control this, no. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on a battlefield, a survivor, never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
Anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
LSRTV and CRN Sports welcome you to championship finale for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. For the final time of the 2023 racing season, we're ready to crown a champion and a race winner, and possibly, like what happened Monday night in the trucks, both. Good evening. Welcome to our coverage from Auto Club Speedway for iRacing. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside. Final race of the year. Charles Wooten ready to rock and roll in the production booth with the awesome sights and sounds of what you will witness for 250 miles tonight from Virtual Auto Club Speedway. Well, it all comes down to this, Jason. We've got 4 drivers ready to battle it out here. Very worthy. Sean Brightsman, Dan West, Ryan Bloom, ready to see what takes place here as the season comes to an end. Obviously, we will watch and see if Ryan Bloom can be, as I mentioned on Monday, the only driver that is in both rounds of the playoffs is Ryan Bloom. He fell 1 spot shy Monday night. Now he's going to have to hold off the likes of all these other drivers to possibly win it. And anybody in the top 4 could win this race. Somebody down in the bottom of the ladder could come up and win a last race of the year to build momentum in the next season. How you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm good, Wesley. It seems like we were just talking about 2 hours ago almost, which we were.
We were.
By the way, what a great finish for the FEG Custom PC Wednesday Wild Super Speed of Money Series. Too long of a name, but hey, good racing. That's all that matters. We're going to see some good racing here tonight from the Virtual Auto Club Speedway. Again, like we saw on Monday night, obviously, Devin West was there, took the checkered flag, won the race, won the championship. Jeff Stabnow just shy of ending that drought that's been happening all the way since 2020. But we have a new champion to crown here tonight, possibly for the first time. But I mean, Wesley, this really is a race where if you're one of these Championship 4 contenders, you have to, and I mean have to, perform at your best, because we've seen consistently, time after time, where the top four, whether it be trucks, Xfinity, Cup Series, and the real life side of things, they're always the guys up in the top four.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm looking at some of the information here in front of me, making sure we're live on the radio as well at wearecrn.com, 87.9 FM. And obviously, anybody can win this race. As we've mentioned, this has just been such a fun season. You got Sean Brightsman and Dan West Jr. with 5 wins this year. Obviously, Dan West Jr. missed making it into the truck championships by 1 spot by virtue of his son, Devin West, winning the championship. Dan West Jr., a former 2-time series champion, back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. And I'll be honest with you, Dan, West wants to be joining his son, Devin, Jason, as a champion here in the Fixed Setup Series. If he can play his cards right, be at the right place at the right time, we could see the 55. And obviously, Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, if you want to be honest on the spectrum of things, have probably been the most dominant drivers in the Fixed Series since we came back after the long break in Memorial Day since Labor Day onto the playoffs, and momentum's got to be on their side, you think?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, DWJ has absolutely dominated the second half of the season since that Memorial Day break that you talked about, Wesley. And Sean Brightsman has been very good this season as well. Him and Dan West Jr., both 5 wins apiece this year. Dan West Jr. has just been a little bit faster. Not as many laps completed, though. But 4 poles for DWJ, 1 pole for Sean Brightsman. But obviously, they're both tied in the win category. I mean, when you look at their stats, they're almost evenly matched. I mean, the only thing that Dan West Jr. is behind on really is starts. And if he had just those 2 extra starts, he'd have more laps completed, probably have just as many top 10s and top 5s, probably would have more poles. We don't know. I think Brightsman and DWJ are both 2 drivers who are going to be very, very interesting to watch tonight. Paul Newton has been right there as well. Both him and Ryan Bloom have 1 win apiece out of the both of them this year. This is a very competitive Final Four. You'd be dumbfounded to sit here and say that Dan West Jr. isn't the favorite, because he's clearly the favorite.
Right.
But again, you could make an argument for all 4 of these drivers leading into tonight as to why they're going to win this race and the championship.
It sound like via communications, via the Northwest Racing Series to our broadcast crew behind the scenes, they're sounding like they're going to run qualifying out the entire 12-minute clock. It looks like they're going to run completely. So that's something that we'll definitely be keeping an eye on for. But right now, talks are the entire qualifying clock will be ran out. So that gives us more chance to talk about these drivers, Jason. Obviously, we mentioned Sean Brightsman, the man that's in the number 1 seed of the 21 races, race 22 to close out the season. 5 wins, 1 pole, 13 top 5s, 16 top 10s. As you mentioned, Dan West Jr. out of 19 races, his 20th start out of 21. He missed 1 week in the year. 5 wins, 4 poles, 12 top 5s, 15 top 10s. Right there in the cusp of missing it by 1 or 2 spots in top 5, top 10 land for the man that has led the most laps of close to 7,000 in the Northwest Racing Series for the Shelton Washington driver. And then you got a guy like Paul Newton. And this is a guy that we normally know, Jason, that's successful on the road courses. What a season that Paul Newton's had. 1 win on the year, obviously. 1 pole, 11 top 5s, 18 top 10s. This is consistency at its finest. And then you look at Ryan Bloom. Ryan Bloom winning that one and only race to put him into the championship for a few weeks ago. 7 poles, 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s. Any of these drivers, honestly, on this night, got to have a flawless race, obviously, on a track that's very known for craziness. We saw a wild race on Monday night in the trucks. I think we'll see the same thing on this Wednesday night for the Xfinity Fixed Setup cars, no doubt.
Yeah, and Wesley, no doubt about it. And you also got to remember these cars have a little bit more horsepower than those trucks did on Monday night. And this is a fixed setup race, something totally different from what we saw on Monday. On Monday, the trucks were very loose all over the place with the abrasive surface. It's going to be the same way here tonight. under the lights, but these cars are going to be just a little wee bit tighter just because they're on the fixed setup. But as the tires wear out, you're going to see these cars start to get tighter and tighter and tighter. On a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles, obviously, once the tire temperature, the heat temperature that they want them to, optimal temp as we call it, they will be slipping and sliding. In the Xfinity series here, Wesley, has always been, by far, in my opinion, the best show out of the race weekends when they always came to here to California. I mean, it's been so fun to watch them with the low downforce package in the rear, the high horsepower. It just makes it for a great race.
Yeah. Jason, I got to ask you this question as, again, the qualifying is still ongoing right now. Ryan Gormley at the top of the board. Ryan Gormley just missed making it into the championship in the final round with the man that's got one win on the year. But I'll be honest, Jason, who are some drivers like Ryan Gormley or somebody else that is not the championship 4, but they could end their night and their season on a high note to carry momentum into next year for the Northwest?
Chris White. Chris White has been consistent all year long. Right now, he's second up at the top of the board. But when you look at the stats this year, obviously, we originally thought it was going to be this series. He wasn't going to be able to run. Turns out that was the Monday series. So what happened to Devin West is what happened to Chris White, except in the Monday series, he elected to run Wednesdays. But we all thought it was going to be the Wednesdays that he was going to, get knocked out of. But he came back. Right. He showed strength. He's got only one win this year. It's been really surprising because Chris has been very fast. But when you look back to Las Vegas, that car was just not there, man. He was struggling a lot during that race. Even in the entire round of 8, that car struggled. But when you look at his stats, 7 top 5s, 14 top 10s. He's got more top 10s than top 5s rather than some of the guys who were in front of him from 5th on back in points, and he's 8th in the point standings. Obviously, not that it matters anymore, but still, it's a nice stat to look over for us up here in the booth. I'm just really surprised that Chris White didn't make this championship 4. He's got one less start on the year compared to everybody else. But I mean, he was a driver that I really thought was going to make it, but hey, he's not in the championship 4. He doesn't have to worry about racing all those other guys. He can come out here tonight, end his season with a win. He's been super strong. That's something that he can, pick his head up above his shoulders with and come out of here tonight knowing that he's going to be very fast for 2024.
Again, all these drivers of the 4 that we mentioned, again, Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Paul Newton, Ryan Bloom, the opportunity to be the champion. For everyone else, keep an eye on them because they're going to try to pull the upset as we go to on-track activity right now and show you some of the sights and sounds. And yes, Jason, we are finishing up under the lights. There's the look at the point standings. Everybody right there at 5,000, same as the way it was for the trucks. Any and everybody in the top 4 have got a mathematical shot to win this race. Yes, I say it again. Ryan Bloom, number 4, could come in and win the championship. Hey, that's exactly what Devin West did. He made it into the championship 4 by bumping out his father, and he went on to be the champion on Monday night.
Yeah, which is very cool to see, obviously. But, Devin West, he was really strong then. Dan West Jr., though, he's very fast here in this series like he's been this second half of the year. Obviously, lighting up the Northwest Division, pretty much on fire here as of the second half of this season. He's definitely, I think, the favorite to win tonight. You could say the same thing about Sean Brightsman, but I really think when you look at it, Wesley, in retrospect, Dan West Jr. has by far been the man of this season.
Sure, no doubt about it for sure. As there you see it, look at the point standings. Everything else from 5th on back is final. Everything just shuffles to the top 4 for the championship tonight. Here it is for the Hunt the Front TV race information for tonight's championship race at Auto Club. 1 fast repair, 100% fuel load, 3 sets of tires, 3 attempts at overtime for green white checker if needed in this race. And of course, this track is 2 miles long in distance, 250 miles, 125 laps, the same distance for the trucks on Monday night, Jason, same for these cars. Oh, and by the way, this is probably one of the longest races of the year also for this series.
Yeah, one of the longest races of the year for sure. Remember, it felt like an eternity on Monday night just because of how intense it was and every lap was going by slow. But, that's usually how it feels for no matter what series, no matter what motorsport it is. The championship race always feels like the longest out of all the races, even the longest races of the year like the Coca-Cola 600 for the Cup Series. It feels like that championship race is always just a little bit longer in your head, probably because it's more nerve-wracking, more nail-biting. There's more intensity. There's so many storylines going into the final race of this season. And obviously, the distance for these guys is going to be a long one, so they're better to be buckled up in their sim seats and ready to take on this 2-mile D-shaped oval here tonight in California.
Take a look at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions as well. 65 air temp, 65 track temp as nightfall settling in with dusk upon us. Mostly cloudy skies, wind speed at 5 miles an hour. You see the mountains, if you will, of California. Yes, California mountains. And, man, there's times you can see the snow caps. I remember, a matter of fact, back in February, when they went to Auto Club Speedway, it was snow on the ground. They actually had a weather delay for the Xfinity race because of snow. The Cup race actually had a snow delay as well before Kyle Busch went on to win what was the final racetrack. And Jason, I did see some social media posts in regards to Auto Club Speedway the other day, and they have already started working on making turn number 1 condensed, tearing it apart, and getting ready for a half-mile racetrack, and the work is underway. It's not like it's a stalemate. There is construction going to make that place a high-banked half-mile track for the future to come at Auto Club Speedway or California Speedway, whatever name they come up with it.
Yeah, and I mean, Wesley, it's such a shame that a track like this obviously has to be taken down and reconfigured, but I'm all for short tracks, just not reconfiguring something like this track. If anything, I would have wished they would have done it to Texas. Of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with me on that one. But, I mean, all good things must come to an end. This racetrack has been so historic all the way back, obviously late 90s, early 2000s here for NASCAR. And it's been such an exciting racetrack. Every time I think about this racetrack, I think about when I was a young kid growing up, watching Herbie Fully Loaded, watching Maggie Payton take on the NASCAR Cup Series drivers at the time in the early 2000s with Herbie the Love Bug. Boy, oh boy, that brings back some memories for sure. Or you think back to Kyle Busch passing Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin duking it out at the end of the 2013 Auto Club 400 coming off turn 4. Or Kyle Busch as well winning this year's past Auto Club 400 for the last time here on the 2-mile oval. Such a lot of history here. Great crowd, great environment, and obviously, like you said, Wesley, great backdrop there with the mountains in the back on the back straightaway.
It certainly is, as right now qualifying clock is ticking down to the final 2 minutes is what we're being told, a 20-minute clock for qualifying, and they're going to run the clock out as right now it looks like Ryan Bloom. Jason, here you go. Ryan Bloom, number 4 seed, fast qualifier for Win Racing, 40.35 holds. He will be the man alongside Dan West Jr., Sean Breitzman, Paul Newton, first 4 drivers. And Jason, what do you know? That's exactly the way the final 4 qualified in the finale for the trucks at Auto Club here on Monday night for the championship.
Yeah, and I told you, Wesley, what did I say just a few minutes ago? That if you were one of these championship 4 guys, you had to be fast. And that every single time, usually, as history says, that usually the top 4 drivers going for these, or not the top 4, but the playoff drivers competing in the championship 4 are usually always the 4 fastest guys for the race weekend. It's going to be the same thing here tonight from what it looks like.
Other notable drivers, looks like Ryan Gormley at one time was at the top of the board. He'll end up 6th. Jeff Stabnow going to be in the top 10. He had a phenomenal race on Monday night, man. Just come up short, runner-up, of course, in the trucks finale, of course, on Monday night for season number 10. Devin West picking up the championship when it's all said and done for the Shelton Washington driver. And now we've got, of course, drivers Sean Breitzman, Dan West Jr., Paul Newton, and Ryan Bloom set to decide it all for the championship finale. And what is officially the final Northwest event of the 2023 season. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in. Comments are welcome. Who you cheering on? Who you rooting for the championship? Obviously, great pages of racing history set to be written in virtual nightfall of Auto Club in California, and it starts right now. Starting lineup for the finale of the year. Ryan Bloom, number 4 seed. Number 2 seed, Dan West Jr. on the front row, 25 and 55. Row number 2, the number 1 seed of the points, Sean Brightsman, and number 3 seed, Paul Newton, 46 and 27, row 2. Row number 3, Troy Daggett in the 99, and Ryan Gormley looked strong in practice at qualifying for the top 6. Row 4, Christopher White, former Cup Series champion of the Northwest, and the legend Frank Harris for one more night of the sun for Team Aerokinetics at 11. Top 10, Jason, will find last year's Truck Series champion Tyler King, and runner-up in the trucks on Monday night, Jeff Stabnow. He'll start 10th in the 24.
Rest of your 18-car field, row number 6, Gary Nichols and Toby Ritter's trying to cap off his career season in finishes with a top 10, top 5, whatever it may be tonight, the 23. Row number 7 tonight goes to Stephen Pauls and John Ottenbacher in his usual green and black number 89 machine. Next row, row number 8, Rob Gamble showed up on Monday, showing up here tonight on Wednesday, and Dana Rogers in the number 07 machine. Row number 9, final row, the Catman, James Vining, BJ Tidrick, who struggled on Monday, trying to rebound with a good finish here tonight on Wednesday in that 72.
So there is the lineup. Everybody getting into place here, ready for tonight's event. Auto Club Speedway. 250 miles, 125 laps, as we alluded to earlier in this race. Again, preliminary laps will be 1 lap around the racetrack before we do get ready to drop the green flag. The pace car will roll off the pit lane. Strategy, and no doubt about it, Jason, you got to remember, when you come in for pit stops, whether it's under caution or green flag, tonight is the night, especially for those Champion 4. You do not want to make any mistakes to take you out of this race by virtue of mistakes on pit road.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have any issues at all. Remember, I mean, it's just a difficult race here tonight. You want to make sure that you are ready to go no matter what the situation is. Have to be on your A game. Stay up at the front all night if you're one of those drivers in the Championship 4 or a driver trying to go for a race win as well.
$250 miles, 125 laps, one of the longest races of the year for these drivers. Key is patience. Want to be there at the end of the race? You got to make your way through the first probably 150 miles to put yourself in there for those final 100 miles to try to go into victory. 4 drivers, they're right there in the top 2 rows to battle it out for the final time of 2023. The Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series Championship round from virtual Southern California. Green flag goes in the air, and the championship is on. Feel the roar for the final time here at Auto Club. Give the opening lap to Dan West Jr. Trying to pick off where his son won on Monday night for the trucks. And son not here. Dan West Jr. off the corner leads the way. Bloom the second. Brightsman third. Oh, they're getting slicey dicey in the back there as they work their way to the back straightaway, Jason.
And you see Brightsman trying to work down to the bottom of Ryan Bloom as you ride from the rear tailgate of his machine there, seeing the deck lid right underneath the windshield. He's trying to use that outside momentum to get around Sean Brightsman. They still remain side by side as DWJ leads lap number 2 at the line back in the 1.
Auto Club Speedway, Virtual Fontana. 2 miles, as we mentioned. It's one of these racetracks where, honestly, it could just... This race could go either way. It could be a wreck fest. It could be a green flag run. Jason, we've had races this year where literally they've gone clean and green.
Yeah, I just saw the 07. Oh my goodness, Dana Rogers and into the wall hard. I just saw him get loose and hit the wall off turn number 2 last time around. I wonder if there's probably something broken in the right side that's not allowing that car to turn. Definitely not a flat, that's for sure, because the way that the iRacing service works, the only time you will get a flat is if you wear your tire down all the way to its core, down to the core. And man, that right front is not moving. So when he hit that wall off turn number 2, he must have hit it just hard enough to where that right front wheel is just not rolling now. Now you're seeing him come to the service and pit stop.
The problems for Dana Rogers in the early going as he's behind the wall. Watching all these drivers working their way to the corner again. Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom, Sean Brightsman, top 3. Newton has fell all the way back, Jason, to 8th behind Toby Ritter. Oh, just got to pace yourself. There goes pretty cool looking truck car, the A47. Halloween was a couple of weeks ago, but he's still got the Halloween colors on the Chris White entry. Nichols up high. Daggett on the bottom. This is going to be pretty fun. 2x2 as they work to the line.
Yeah, see him going 2x2. Paul Newton trying to get around Gary Nichols right now, but he has fallen back big time since the start of this race. Already -6, about to go -7, maybe even -8. The Paul Newton's designed Ford Mustang not doing too well here, just 6 laps in tonight's event.
Newton on the inside, open the door to Daggett up top. Here comes now Paulison in the middle. Going on to the back of the top 10 as they come back to the line to start finish. Key is here. Patience, Jason. I mean, that's the deal. You got to be patient. You want to win these races, yes. You want to be the champion, yes. But to do that, you have to literally just, take your time, pick your battles, pick your opponent. Try to find a wingman. Try to find a teammate if they can, if they're out there.
Yeah, you just have to, no doubt about it, Wesley. Obviously, the 8 of Gary Nichols up and into the wall going into turn number 3. Scraped the wall for just a second. He's going to lose 1, almost 2 positions. Nearly comes down into the 58 of Paulison and that Aerokinetics machine off the corner, but he's able to save it. But yeah, Wesley, touch back on your point. Obviously, you don't want to make any enemies out here tonight. You want to make sure that you're racing everybody with cleanliness, respect, everything out here tonight, because it's the last race of the season. You don't want to make anybody frustrated, here in the final race.
2 miles in length, 3.219 kilometers here at the Auto Club Speedway. Obviously, watching Ryan Bloom now closing in on Dan West Jr. for that spot on the racetrack. This is for second. Brightsman right there behind him, the third. Jason, if there's any inclination, you got Ryan Bloom Win Racing, and you got Team LSRTV first and third West and Brightsman. Back across the line in the corner again, working now lap number 10, but they come back to the line. And there you see now Gormley and Stabnow beginning to go at it for the top 5. Jason, Jeff Stabnow had a really good run in the trucks on Monday night. Runner-up finish, could have had a chance to win the race. Kind of gave that push to Devin Walsh to win the championship, if you will. What could he take? Obviously in 2 different vehicles, but could he use what he did Monday night with the trucks to help him out with his car tonight to possibly win here at Auto Club?
Yes and no, because just like you said, Wesley, 2 different vehicles. Obviously, the truck a little bit more downforce, less horsepower, open setup. This one, fixed setup, more horsepower, lower downforce. So, I mean, you can take some things. Obviously, you can take the tire wear, for example. You can take your racecraft with you. I expect Jeff to do very good tonight. He very well, probably, in my opinion, was the fastest truck out on the racetrack on Monday. He tried everything he could do to push Devin as far out as he could. They got safely ahead. And then coming to the line, Jeff just pushed him and he said he couldn't just get out of line too quickly. He knew that Devin was going to get it. But Jeff tried. Maybe tonight could be the night.
3,100-foot front straightaway is where they're at right now, with Stabnow in the top 5. Getting ready to climb that 11 degrees of banking. 3 degrees on the back straightaway. Here at Auto Club Speedway, the finale of the year. Championship night. Going to be a long one. We're just getting started. Dan West Jr., the leader. There's the cavalry sending them off into 3. West, Bloom, Brightsman, Gormley, Stabnow, top 5. Frank Harris with a good start to the top 10. Ritters as well. White, Daggett, Nichols. That's the way they are as we're working off turn 4. Back to the line for lap number 12, Jason.
Yeah, just some great racing out here for the top 3 spots right now, all between Championship 4 drivers. And Paul Newton is just continuing to drop spots all the way back to 12th minus 8 now. So he's going to need to try to do something just like he wanted to the other day on Monday to go out here and win this championship. My apologies, I'm thinking of Ryan Bloom. But Paul Newton, remember, Ryan Bloom had to do something similar, just wasn't up there at the front on Monday night, tried something different, didn't work out for him. Paul Newton very well might have to do the same thing here tonight, Wesley, if he doesn't get it in caution.
Back into the turn again for Dan West Jr. It's Bloom, Brightsman 1, 2, and 3 for the championship on the racetrack. By the way, Paul Newton has fell almost 5 seconds back to those drivers in 12th. Losing ground down the back straightaway. They work into 3.
You see Sean Brightsman right now trying to work this inside lane, and Ryan Bloom's just continuing to hold that middle lane like he's been doing. You saw him get around him just beforehand, so that outside lane definitely helping Ryan Bloom, but obviously the cost of that's going to be a little bit of tire wear. If he keeps on holding that line, not really shifting around, he's going to create less tire wear, which is going to be beneficial for him in the long run. As you see him right now in between the 2 seams, but the more that he moves around on that lane, the more obviously he's going to shred those tires.
As we mentioned, track size 2-mile D-shaped oval. Sometimes the word tri-oval comes to mind. 75 feet wide with a 15-foot apron around the racetrack. 14 degrees of banking exactly in unison around turns number 1, 2, 3, and 4. 11 degrees on the 3,100-foot front straightaway. 3 degrees down on the back stretch at 2,500 feet in length. Some of the dimensions on this racetrack for championship night these drivers are occupying. As Newton continuing to free fall, as here comes Tyler King, last year's Truck Series champion, coming after him 3 wide. Thought about going 3 wide. Remember, Jason, we saw some accident take place in the early going on Monday night because of some craziness like this in the early going into 3.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. You see some craziness going on here. Paul Newton is trying to be as aggressive as he can, but just continuing to fall back. He gained one more spot on Paulson, but still, Paulson and then King and Robert Campbell, they are right there. It has just amazed me how Paul Newton was so good in practice and qualifying, and now he is just struggling with this car right now. This Paul Newton Designs Ford Mustang is just not the animal it was earlier on in this session.
Dan West Jr. hugs the bottom of the apron, as we mentioned, down to the white line as they work off the corner out of turn number 4, back to the tri-oval here, the D-shaped Auto Club Speedway. Nightfall getting quicker and quicker, settling in here. There you see the top 3 right there in tow with one another, 1, 2, and 3. Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom, Sean Brightsman, you're on board with him. Makes a move down the back straightaway. Try to get the clear on the bottom on Bloom. Bloom gave him plenty of room. Brightsman gave him plenty of room. And all the while, as all this goes on, for Brightsman to get to Bloom. Bloom's trying to go after West out of 4 there, Jason.
Great battling for these top 3 guys like we mentioned before. They've already pulled out a little bit ahead of Ryan Gormley and the rest of the field by about less than a second from the back of Brightsman to the front of Gormley. But you see Brightsman thinking about trying to go back down to the inside of Bloom, back down into turn number 1. Still Ryan Bloom right now, though, up at the top of that racetrack as they all fan out, coming off the back straight, or coming down to the back straightaway now off 2.
And that back straightaway off that second turn, you see all the palm trees, if you will. The snow-capped mountains in the distance now beginning to fade from nightfall. Dan West Jr. continuing to hit his marks, the Shelton, Washington driver. Driver that has began his 277th career Northwest start. And the finale of the year, 46 poles. Looking for win 46. He's got 45 wins in his career. 148 top 5s, 213 top 10s. And as I mentioned on the air, Jason, over 7,000 laps he has led in his career and continuing to rack them on to more. 7,105 before tonight, to be exact, for the all-time points, for the all-time race leader of the Northwest. And here comes Sean Brightsman now. Looking after Bloom for second. I'm sorry, Jason, go back to 1.
And I was going to say, too, Brightsman has gotten right there. He nearly completed the pass in turn number 2, or off turn number 2, rather, Wesley, a couple laps ago. So I think that, and Bloom with a big slide out of turn number 2. Has to give up that top lane that he's been using all race long so far for these first 20 laps under the belt. And now he's going to have to move to the bottom. Sean Brightsman's going to have to move up to the top lane, which he has not ran yet. Here they come off turn number 4. Bloom's loose again. The car is starting to get away from him. Give it to Sean Brightsman. He'll take that second position away as Dan West Jr. loves what he's seen in the rearview mirror.
Jason, tires and handling going away on Bloom's car quicker than the
others.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely no doubt about it right now. These tires are absolutely squealing. Wesley, guess what? We're only 21 laps under this race so far. The best lap time was turned on lap number 2 by Dan West Jr. It was a 40.452 last time around. Sure. Get this, 41.973. Nearly 2 seconds of fall off in just 21 laps completed so far. Oh, and guess what? They're just going to wear out more.
Yeah, because I don't think the pit window is going to open up until, 45 to 55 laps, basically?
Oh, yeah, I'd say about 35 to 45 laps for sure, no doubt about it. You usually see these guys on a racetrack like this that races like a mile and a half on a 2 mile. You'll see them go about 35 to 40 laps. Some guys will stretch to 45, but you're just killing yourself out there if you go all the way to 45.
And what heartbreak for Ryan Bloom, of course, on Monday night, Jason, if you remember. We thought he could possibly go the distance. Sean Brightsman as well. 1 lap shy from winning the race on fuel. He ran out of fuel coming to the white flag out of turn 4 and had to pit, giving the win, of course, to Devin West and Jeff Stabdown battling it out. And with Devin West win, he was able to also lock up Season 10 of the Northwest Truck Series Championship. And right now, watching these drivers working their way to the line, it will be 100 laps to go. We're at a couple of more laps, but still a long way in this event. This is such a big track, such a long race. Strategy-wise, as we're about to put lap 24 on the board when they come to the line, Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, watching him fade back. You're looking at Gormley, and now you're watching Paul Newton starting to climb back, Jason back into the top 10. Here comes the 27 up 4 spot as they go back into turn number 1.
Yeah, Paul Newton is finally starting to turn it up just a little bit. Right now, last time around, 42.140 to Dan West Jr.'s 42.148. So the speed has all of a sudden come to life in the Paul Newton's designed Mustang. So maybe this is what we're seeing. Paul Newton just feels a little bit more comfortable on these long runs, but obviously only time will tell. Long race to go as we're approaching 100 laps to go.
Dan West Jr. under attack now by his teammate. Here comes Sean Brightsman looking for the lead. Bottom of the racetrack, got a turn. Number 2, 100 laps to go now, by the way. As Brightsman is reeling in Dan West Jr. Still in the early going. Devin West again wins the championship for Team LSRTV on Monday night of the trucks. They spoke flawlessly, all of them did, Jason, of how hard it was to battle Win Racing. They thought Win Racing should have been in the catbird seat for the championship. It just fell one spot, couple of spots shy. Here comes Team LSRTV though, Jason, and I'll be honest, and we mentioned these names, both of them right now. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, they have really been strong since we came back to the second half of the season on Labor Day.
Yeah, they've been so strong, obviously, Wesley. I mean, right there all year long. It's like the first half of the season, like we've talked about, was obviously the Sean Brightsman show. Now he's got 5 wins up on the board. He's swept Homestead this year. He's won at Mid-Ohio. He's been so good. DWJ, though, second half of the year, it's like he did something during the long break all the way up from Memorial Day all the way to Labor Day weekend, and all of a sudden just started lighting up the competition. And so far, it has been all the DWJ show here tonight. This is the 2 best drivers this year going at it for the race lead here.
Top 5 as we approach under 100 to go. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, and of course, Gormley. Jeff Stabdown. Top 5 of bottom 5 include Toby Ritters, Chris White, Paul Newton, Troy Daggett, and Tyler King. We'll pause for 10 seconds for network identification on CRN as we are at the top of the hour from Auto Club Speedway.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
A battle for the lead continues as right now Sean Brightsman after Dan West Jr. down the back straightaway.
Down the front stretch they go. Here comes Brightsman down to the bottom of the racetrack. He got the good run off the corner. And Wesley, I thought to myself when I saw that 46 finally get around the 25, I thought that was all the 55 needed to see. It was with them side by side, but once the 46 got by, I thought to myself, man, maybe this 46 has got a shot at this 55. Seemingly enough, 30 laps into this race, and Sean Brightsman has taken over the lead, but not for long. Here comes DWJ trying to work that middle lane. Back on Brightsman for 3.
Still a long way to go as these guys work their way again off the corner. Off of turn number 4, Sean Brightsman. Dan West Jr., they're 1 and 2. Ryan Bloom is 3rd. Remember, as we mentioned right before we went to network identification, that Ram Bloom was kind of falling back. He was kind of falling off the pace, falling out. And while all this is going on now, we are continuing to see, if you will, a fall off for the 25. He's now back to about second and a half back. Gormley stab down, top 5 as they work their way. Jason back off into the corner into turn number 1 here. Still a long way to go at Auto Club.
Yeah, still a long way to go for sure, but you're seeing right now, obviously, this 24 of Jeff Stabdown continuing to try to push his momentum forward in this race, seemingly like he did back on Monday night. This 23, though, of Toby Ritter's, he's gained 6 spots since the start of this race. Both him and BJ Tidrick are both two cars on the racetrack that have gained the most positions. You're looking at Clifford go to the bottom, Jeff Stabnow throw the old slide job, and just like that, he's going to complete the pass. But Jeff Stabnow says, he gets a little loose off turn number 4, back down to the bottom, crossover move at the line on lap 33.
Ritter's has really turned it up, especially in the second half of the season. And that is not just for the Northwest Truck Series, but also for this CLICKIT RV Fix Series as well. I think we're going to see some big things out of Clifford in 2024 and beyond, especially with this relationship now with Win Racing. Meanwhile, Jason got a battle going on for the lead again. It's right back up in front. Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr. wants to lead back again as they work off of turn number 2 to the back straightaway.
Here comes DWJ pushing the issue on Brightsman back down to the bottom of this racetrack here. Now he's going to get it, but he's going to clip the apron, slide up the racetrack. Brightsman with a crossover move works back down to the bottom, and they're going to be side by side, all 4. Near contact made. Brightsman tries to get away. DWJ says, I'm not going to side ramp. They remain side by side. Brightsman clears him at the line. DWJ trying to look for a way back around the 46th.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. These two drivers got to go as they battle. Into turn number 3, they open up a lead now close to 3 seconds now on 4th on back. Newton is 5 seconds back. He's that driver that is the number 4 for the championship. Let's say Sean Brightsman, inside, outside, green flag, pit stop, Jason. Here comes Chris White. First on the pit road to the 47.
Yeah, he wants to try this undercut right here, Wesley, which is a very smart move. I mean, you really think the undercut usually is about lap 35 to 40, and then regular pit stops about lap 40, and then you're stretching it. You go above probably to lap 45 on a run here at Auto Club, but you see this 47 machine coming into the pits this time. He's going to take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, obviously, on his Chevy Camaro. And this just opens up the door right here for anybody else that wants to come down on pit road and try to take this undercut here within these next 4 laps.
Chris White, undercut. Will it work to his advantage? Got to fill in less than 10 laps. Everyone else will be pulling on the pit road. Let's take a look at the race summary so far. 40 laps into this event presented by Virginia811.com. No cautions, no caution laps, 1 lead change so far in this race. Great summary again, reminding you, Virginia811.com. Call before you dig with care, especially for this upcoming holiday season. Want to be putting in a new barn? Want to be putting in a swimming pool? Make sure you're not cutting down any wires for power, especially for Charles' internet. Darn best. I'm sorry, I had to. Oh, wow. I'm still here. You thought Vexus knocked me out? Brightsman and Dan West Jr. right there again. As they work their way down the back stretch, and it's just, I mean, honestly, Jason, this is the best battle on the racetrack. Everyone else is all single file. Back to the line. In any moment now, Jason, what about a handful of laps, I'm thinking? Less than 10. We'll start seeing green flag pit stops. We'll see drivers peeling off on the pit lane. We just saw Nichols peel in. Here comes Zaz Paulison now on pit road. So pit stops are beginning to come to fruition for especially the guys in the back, trying to possibly go for an undercut strategy on the front leaders. But Jason, the front guys have not pitted yet.
And you know something, Wesley? I was just going to say, I think if there's one of the championship... well, never mind. Here comes DWJ coming in this time.
Yep.
I was going to say, I think Paul Newton could have tried the undercut, but instead Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., they want to try to go at it here. I think if Paul Newton would have tried the undercut, Wesley, I think he was good enough to probably, you know, go and take advantage of those fresher tires, let the tires wear out a little bit more than those guys who would pit after him. But he was just so good on the long run. He's been posting lap times 3/10 faster than the leaders. If I were Paul Newton, I would have probably pit right there, but we're going to see he does here in a few moments.
Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr. on pit road. First time tonight. Everything's looking good flawlessly. And Dan West Jr. out before Ryan Bloom. Now we're seeing Ryan Gormley come to pit road. Ritters is on pit road. Here comes Newton on pit road. Everybody else is peeling on pit road except two drivers, Jason. Sean Brightsman and BJ Tidrick.
Here they come. This time right now into the pits. Everybody right now. This is a madhouse coming down on pit road. Almost looks like a green flag cycle here at Talladega or Daytona, like we were just calling earlier for the Fed Custom PCs race earlier, Wesley. And here comes your leader, Sean Brightsman. Oh, whoa! Sean Brightsman dirt tracking it, coming into the pits. That's going to be close, but he got it slowed up just enough. Maybe we can get an update on that from Charles in the production booth here in just a few moments. But it looks like Sean Brightsman, for the time being, looks like he's going to be okay. Wesley, that was really hot for Brightsman coming in that time.
And if you remember, if you're looking at the scoring pylon, Brightsman, Tidrick, Audenbacher, all coming down pit road now, Jason. This cycles back around to guess who? Chris White. Remember when he pitted before anybody else did, went for the undercut? The 47, Jason, show him on the scoring pylon, Charles. Here it comes, there he goes. He is your new leader. Chris White with strategy on an undercut, Jason, works in his favor, and he's up in front now.
Yeah, no surprise, though, that the 47 was able to take that lead right there. Remember, this is what this does. We saw, obviously, the fact that, you know, how much a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles matters. He came into the pits, took advantage of the early pit stop, and, I mean, that's 2 seconds a lap on fresher Goodyear Eagles compared to the rest of the field. But obviously now that he's been having his tires on this car for quite some time, guess what? 41.058 last time around. Dan West Jr., 40.653, so almost half a second faster than Chris White. But Chris did this for track position. He knows he's not keeping this lead for very long. He wants to try to make sure that his tires get equalized with the rest of the field when he kind of falls back a little bit. So basically what he tried to do was gain track position or hope for a yellow once he got to the lead.
So green flag pit stops have finally concluded. Got James Vining and Dana Rogers out of the race, by the way. And now a battle for the lead. Dan West Jr. battles on the bottom. Chris White up top. This goes into 3, Jason.
Yeah, there goes DWJ to the race lead, and now Chris White's goal is just to keep the tires on it. Not slide around like he did right there entering turn number 3, but he wants to make sure that those tires equalize with the rest of the field. It's going to be a few laps before that happens, but he's in a great spot right now. There's huge gaps in between each position, so he's just going to want to make sure that he keeps the tires on it, make sure they equalize so we can be on the positive side on the outlook of obviously these green flag cycle pit stops.
Chris White, of course, one of those drivers, as I mentioned, a former Cup Series champion back in 2021. 8th in the point standings, made it out of the, could make it into the championship board from the semifinal rounds, if you will. 1 win on the season for the driver, of course. And that 47 machine, long time, was in a 43. Kind of watching Christopher White work his way around the racetrack. Trying to begin his ascent, if you will, trying to run back down Dan West Jr. There's Steve Ritters and Newton. And again, Jason, it seems like Paul Newton's strategy or not has been the driver that honestly has just been kind of in the waning back of the pack of everyone else in the championship board. He's just kind of lying in the weeds, if you will. Hasn't really made a valiant effort to try to get up to the front.
I mean, like, he's tried. It's just, like I said, Wesley, I just didn't understand why when Chris White pitted, he didn't have a light bulb come into his head and think, oh, maybe I should pit. If I were that 27, I would have been pitting probably a lap or 2 after Chris White because, like I said, your goal, like Chris White was, if you would have pitted from back there where Paul Newton and Chris White were at one point, you would be right there with Chris White up at the front of this field. You need track position. You need to make those tires equalize with the rest of the field or hope for a caution. And now that he pitted, after all those guys did, look at him. He's back here running slower lap times than Dan West Jr., than Breitzman, Bloom, White, Gormley, everybody in front of him. I mean, he's battling right now with Toby Ritters, but I just don't understand why the 27 did that. But I tell you what, Wesley, if this race goes green all the way till the next green flag pit stops here in probably about 50 laps, if I were Paul Newton, I would do just what I just said before.
Well, looks like things have kind of balanced themselves out after the green flag cycle of pit stops. Let's go side by side as we take a commercial break right now. Your top 10 as it stands, as we're about to put 50 laps on the board. 75 laps to go. It is, of course, Dan West Jr., second time out in front. Chris White, Ryan Bloom, Sean Breitzman, Ryan Gormley, your top 5 for championship night here at Auto Club. We'll be back after a break.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Just after 50 laps into this event, welcome back to coverage of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series Championship Night. Final race of the year, round 22. If you're keeping tally from the Auto Club Speedway, I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten alongside on production. Jason Rockefeller is joining us on color commentary. And Jason, honestly, man, we were kind of chatting about this over the radio in TV timeout. It's really a calm race. It's nothing like the craziness that we saw on Monday in the trucks. Remember, we were so far flag to flag caution free, and I say that because I do want a caution flag. Monday night, we had 4 cautions before halfway of the race.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that so far nothing has really happened in this race besides the great battle between DWJ and Shaw Brightsman, but there's still a long way to go. We're approaching halfway here in just a handful of laps. You know, we don't know. This race could get shaken up. I mean, we've called some races, Wesley, this year where there have been no cautions until the final 2 laps, which is definitely a possibility.
Well, here's your best battle on the racetrack right now. Number 4 in the points, or number 3 in the points championship. Paul Newton battling Toby Ritters. This is for 6th and 7th. Ritters dives to the bottom of the apron. Give him room. Oh, boy, Ritters had to fight for that spot going back into 1, Jason.
Yeah, he had to go all the way to the apron almost there, entering turn number 1. He was able to do it, but now he slides up the racetrack, opens up the door for the Paul Newton's Designs machine, and he's going to look down to the inside. They battle side by side while Jeff Stabnow and Tyler King, last year's Truck Series champion, look in the wings behind them for a couple of spots.
Yeah, look at this contest going on, and watching it hot and heavy, working in the 3 and 4. Give him room. This time, plenty of room as they go up to the safer barrier. Here comes down Newton to the bottom of the apron. This track, obviously, precision banking. You can go 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes fast if you're brave enough, Jason. You can go that wide.
Yeah, you can go that wide. Usually you see a lot of guys go 5 wide on restarts, but obviously we are yet to see that here tonight. Most of all the racing here tonight has been tame besides the race leaders, and this right here is anything but tame. Paul Newton and Toby Ritters still going at it. This time Ritters looks to the top side on Newton, and he's got a heck of a run entering the corner. Starts to slide up a little bit though. He's going to get the run off the corner. Will he go to the bottom? He tries to. Newton's going to block that run, bring him all the way down to the apron almost as they hit lap number 58.
Boy, talking about building up a big burst of momentum. It's the best battle we're watching, and Jeff Stabnow starting to close in on it. So is King and Kendrick. It's about to become a 4 or 5 car battle. Meanwhile, let's go back to the battle for second. Ryan Bloom's got it. Sean Brightsman wants it, and it's about the second time that they've no-see-doed for this spot here.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. Ryan Bloom, he fell back once Sean Brightsman got around him. But now that he's back in second spot, maybe Ryan Bloom could do something a little bit differently than on the last green flag run where he allowed Brightsman to get by him. You saw how loose he was right there, just like he was. Not nearly as loose from the last run, but you saw how loose he was there, like he was in the last run. I think his goal probably is to not be nearly as loose, keep the tires on it, don't slide around. That outside lane was working for him earlier in the run. Once he started traveling to the bottom, that car just started getting wicked loose off these corners.
Back to one. This is Bloom and Brightsman for second for the bridesmaid spot. Best battle on the racetrack now. Approaching 70 laps to go. 65 actually remaining. Look at them going at it again down in the turn. And pick a spot. Oh boy, Jason, look at Brightsman right up under the back of the tail of the rear end of the fuel cell, if you will, of the Bloom car.
Yeah, and you're
shot there.
Sean Brightsman. Oh yeah, he almost gave him a little bit of a shot there. That was really close. Exiting turn number 2 in the Brights Boutique Toyota Supra. I keep almost saying Camry. I meant to say Supra there. And you see him right there in that teal or turquoise number 46 machine trying to go to this bottom here. Ryan Bloom still can't exactly pin that bottom like you're seeing Sean Brightsman do, and I think that's been Sean Brightsman's biggest strength all night. He's been getting right down to that white line, not sliding up nearly as much as Ryan Bloom or Dan West Jr. per se, but he's doing a great job right now holding that position, that being Ryan Bloom.
And he gave him another shot. And back down to the bottom again. Here he comes. Inside, can't clear it. All he can do, it's the old cliche, Jason. The old wives' tale, and it's true. It's one thing to pass somebody, it's another thing to run them down. You can run them down, but what's it going to take to get around them?
Probably a lot. I mean, he might have to boot him out of the way possibly, but really, he's just going to have to run a different line. I mean, that's the best way. Usually when a driver in front of you that you're trying to pass is taking away your line, your goal is to search around the racetrack, find grip. You think back to a lot of races this year, we've seen this happen, and that's exactly what these guys have got to do. You see Brightsman has a nice little run off the corner, but the 25 slams the door. I think this 46 might have a good enough run. He's going to pull out a line a little bit. Will Brightsman go to the bottom? He's going to stay right behind Bloom as Bloom takes the air away from him again in the crew.
Across the line. One lap to the halfway mark. And we'll continue to watch this battle going on for second spot. Oh boy, give him room. We saw Ryan Bloom, matter of fact, Jason, on Monday night spin at something like that going on while he was battling for position, where somebody gave him a bump in the corner at the wrong time and around he went.
And the thing is with Ryan Bloom, too, is he's just trying his heart out right now. He knows that he had a missed opportunity on Monday night. He does not want to have the same one here happen tonight.
And we are halfway in championship round finale at Auto Club Speedway, and we welcome you inside the broadcast booth to the LSRTV mid-race report update. As you continue to see the action working on the racetrack. Again, I'm Wesley Outwood, Jason Rockefeller down below. Charles Wood doing a phenomenal job in the production with the sights and sounds, the video images. You're checking it out, and we got contact. A little side man right there, just broadsided off of the Ritter's stabbed out cars. 23 and 24, ironically. Jason, I see you shrugging your shoulders. I was about to do the exact same thing. Man, I don't want to say this in a bad way. I'm ready for some action to happen here. This has been a runaway with Dan West Jr. and honestly, Sean Brightsman a couple of times. Other than that, it's been a calm, cool race. It's starting to heat up a little bit as we're watching Ritter's under attack by King in first half now, but man, you're taking this race. I'm ready to see something happen here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all been the DWJ and Brightsman show so far. Ryan Bloom has got the speed, I think, just not on that medium to long length run. Paul Newton, he's got to do something different. He has to. There's no doubt about it. He is much slower in the shorter to medium length run, but once he gets in that long run, he's fast. These guys right here, this is where that yellow flag might come out between the 24, the 23, and the 21 right now. Coincidentally, all in the 20s right now. They've been battling it out. We've seen a lot of great battles. I personally think Sean Brightsman is a little bit faster than DWJ last time around. He was nearly 0.2 of a second faster. I think Sean Brightsman is very, very fast on the super long runs here, Wesley, which very well could lead to Brightsman retaking this lead away here in just a handful of laps.
We look at last Monday night, this previous Monday night for the finale for Devin West winning the race of the championship. 4 caution flags, 4, count them, 4, almost a handful. And before the first half of the race, Jason, I think the race ended with 7 or 8 caution flags at the end of the night. Not the case tonight. Is it because of the cars? Is it because of the track? Is it just because of these guys are minding their P's and Q's right now? Why are we seeing such a calm race in the first half here at Auto Club compared to the trucks?
I also think it's a big part is that, remember, this is a 2-mile D-shaped oval, and if you really want to compare this racetrack to anything of what the trucks drive, think about Michigan. Michigan drives like a Atlanta Motor Speedway does now. It's 1.5 miles, but obviously Michigan 2 miles as well. But you get the gist. The draft, that's a big factor. The draft kept those trucks very, very condensed on Monday night, but you don't have that here. You have the lower downforce, the higher horsepower, so you're not going to have racing like that. But notice that you're using a lot more grooves here tonight rather than you did on Monday. You usually saw guys go to the middle, slightly to the top, and then to the bottom. Here tonight, you're seeing guys go all the way up to the wall. You're seeing guys go all the way down to the bottom of the dang apron. It does not matter. There's so many different lines with this car compared to the truck where you really have to stay in the draft, and it's super, super key.
Charles, if you real quickly show the leader, 55, Dan West Jr. on the monitor right now, kicking butt, taking names in the top spot, and obviously a 1-second lead over teammate Sean Brightsman. Jason, final question before we wrap up our mid-race report. Can Dan West Jr. win this race? Can he join his son Devin West as the truck champion and make history? I don't think it's ever been done before.
Take a look at that car behind him. That's the guy you got to look out for right now. Sean Brightsman is coming, and he is flying right now. And Ryan Bloom is right there. He is no slouch either. He is a little bit faster than Brightsman right now, but last time around, Brightsman a little bit slower. The same with Ryan Bloom. These guys keep on going at it right now, going, you know, shot for shot, jab for jab with one another when it comes to the fastest lap time here tonight. You could say, I mean, Brightsman and West are really, really closely identical with speed. Ryan Bloom, he's kind of been the laid-back guy. He is the sleeper, I think, in all this. But obviously, the big thing tonight, we talked about the top 4 guys in qualifying, all there. They're not all there right now. Paul Newton's still 6th. This has been the best he has ran all night long. He needs to do something. But if I'm going to pick a championship favorite right now, I think we're just a little past halfway. I really like that 46, man. I think that car is hooked up for the long run. I think Sean Brightsman goes to victory lane tonight. He is your 2023 Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed champion.
Just over 100 miles remain, and that has been your final LSRTV mid-race report of the season. Let's go back to on-track activity as, again, the race rolls on. Dan West Jr. up in front. You see the scoring pylon. Sean Brightsman, as Jason mentioned, the 46, don't count him out. 53 laps to go, over 100 miles remaining. And by the way, Jason, this is a big track. You mentioned it, D-shaped oval, 2 miles, still a lot of racing left to go. A lot of racing left to go. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely such a long amount of racing here to go, and it's a 2-mile oval, 40-second lap times. It's going to be a little bit, you know, so we still have the opportunity for a caution to throw a monkey wrench into this entire race. Sure.
There you see Tendrick. Tendrick on the inside. He's won at tracks kind of similar to this place, mile and a half. Las Vegas, he won 2021. 2020, he won Darlington. First career win for him in the Northwest Racing Series. BJ Tendrick. Tonight making his 176th career start. By the way, just want to kind of throw some of the names out here. Dan West Jr. career start, 277 tonight. Jeff Stabnow on the all-time list for the Northwest Series. There you see the 24, start number 428 of his career. Tyler King, start number 182 alongside of the 21. Sean Breitzman, 394th career start tonight. John Annenbacher, 389. Frank Harris, 337. Christopher White, 313. Carl Burke, he's not here tonight, never mind. Stephen Paulison, 242nd start. James Binding made his 210th start, though he's already out of the race. Toby Ritter's start 177 tonight. 176 for Tendrick. 165 for Ryan Bloom. Jason. Gary Nichols, start number 161. Troy Daggett, start number 158. There's just some of the names of drivers that are here on the all-time list of their career starts. And it's one thing you got to love about the Northwest Racing Series, Jason. It is bred with so much fabric of these guys virtually running for over 10 years in this series, all across the board and all that they've done.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, these guys are all good friends. They never get heated with one another. They're all so friendly with one another when it comes to our chat, whether it comes to Facebook, whether it comes to, you know, obviously the team speak that they have. I mean, these guys are so friendly with one another, and it's kind of how it reminds me of what I used to do. I used to do a lot of Xbox League racing when I was a little bit younger, from about 2014 all the way until 2021. You know, so it kind of reminds me of that. I'm still friends with some of those guys I still league race with back then. We still get together every once in a while on Discord or iRacing, wherever it may be. I've had the opportunity to meet some of those fine people. So it's cool to see that these guys are still able to put on a performance, still come this close together, and have a fun time doing this for over 10 years now.
We are closing in on pit road, and as I say that, I was thinking around lap number 80, Jason, Christopher White going for the undercut, just like he did around lap number 40, the last time.
Yeah, and I like this call. You know, I mean, if you couldn't beat him on the first one, you might as well try it one more time just for good measure. Don't know how it's going to work out for him. If he gets back to that race lead, he's definitely going to need a caution. Not going to keep that race lead, but might as well try to do it. Am I right? He's got to do it. But now, like I said, if you're Paul Newton, dude, come in next time. You come in next time, man. You want to try something. You know you're not as fast as those three guys out in front in this championship hunt. You're brand 6th, you're brand 5th. This is the highest he's ran all night long. If Chris White could do it, you could do it. I think Paul Newton has got to pit in these next 2 laps if he wants to try this.
You ever heard of that song, Ground Control to Major Tom? Ground Control to Major Blue. Or Major Newton.
Oh, yeah.
Ground Control to Major Newton. Jason's telling you pit now. And I think he's going to listen to you, Jason. No, he's not.
Not this time.
Oh, 45 to go, by the way. Coming to the line again right now. It's Dan West Jr. leading. Sean Brightsman, Ryan Blue, 1, 2, 3, Tendrick. Little wiggle there for a moment. Here comes Chris White trying to fly by on the top of the safer barrier. Give him room. The 47's fast. Look at how fast he is, Jason, compared to everyone else because their tires are all used up.
Oh, yeah. He is trying right now to just get out there as fast as he can. Paul Newton, man, come on, hear me out. Come to the pits this time, driver. Come on, man. I'm telling you, I really think he's got to do this. I truly do, Wesley, and I don't mean that as a joke. I'm being dead serious. If this 27 wants a shot at this championship, I genuinely think by the way that this race has gone, by the stats, the positions, the speed, if Paul Newton wants a chance, he better pit before those top three do.
Dan West Jr. pitted on lap number 80. John Brightsman lap 42. Ryan Bloom lap 40. Paul Newton pitted on lap 41. We just saw lap 78 where Chris White went in for the undercut, changing what he did the last time, and he has not heeded to the words of ground control. Jason Rockefeller telling him to pit. Yeah. Major Blue. Major Newton.
Oh, Major.
Well, Newton up high. Here we go. 3 wide. Give him room. Oh, boy. Can't block them all. King and Tendrick going after the 27. And here comes Dan West Jr. Many stop time. They're on pit road for the final time of the year, Jason.
Well, if Sean Brightsman wants to try to beat out DWJ, he better pit this time by too. Here comes Paul. Now he pits. What the hell, Paul? You should have pitted last time around, man. But he comes to the pits this time by. But here's the thing. Now that he's pitting on the same cycle as Dan West Jr., maybe he could try to gain some positions if the caution were to come out on Sean Brightsman and Ryan Bloom. We're just going to have to see how this all shakes out in the end.
Brightsman and Bloom. Brightsman and Bloom. Here comes Bloom. He's on pit road now. Brightsman is the leader. He should have pitted this time as well. He didn't do it. Remember what happened on Monday night for Sean Brightsman? He led all, and Ryan Bloom, Jason. Remember, they were both two up in front. Just shy. Ryan Bloom was 3 laps shy. Sean Brightsman was 1 lap shy to the win.
Yeah, Ryan Bloom has done a great job here tonight. Definitely a better chance tonight than what he had on Monday. But obviously, this race could still play in his favor. 1 caution, and it all works out. Here comes the 46. He's hot again. There's no way he was not speeding. There's no way that 46 was not speeding. If he was not speeding, I quit LSRTV. I swear to God, because that 46 machine was hot on his heels coming into the pits.
Don't quit. We can't depend on anybody else, please. It's just me and you. And Brightsman is on pit road. I'm sorry, I was telling the truth. Brightsman on pit road. We'll see if he's going to get a penalty. And here comes now Ryan Gormley to his pit stall. Oh my goodness. Top 5 on the pit lane to cycle back around. Chris White. Remember, he went for the undercut. This time he is not.
Wow.
No penalty for the 46. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy. I cannot believe that this 46 was not posted. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying, hey, Sean Brightsman. I'm not. I swear. I promise you, Wesley. But listen, I am so shocked. That might be save of the year right there for Sean Brightsman. Had he have been speeding coming into the pits, his championship homes are dashed. They are gone. Poof, like that. Kapoosh. They're gone. And I mean, the fact that he was able to slow it down just in time, now he's behind DWJ, but he's going to have a few lap pressure tires. That'll be key, but it's going to have to be, can he be competitive in the long run to catch up to that 55?
I'm Surprised they didn't. Hey, by the way, if you're looking to get into producing or announcing, since Jason's retired live on air, message us message us on Facebook or at livesimracingtv.com. Your home for sim racing. Yes, we are looking for announcers and producers, man. It's really fun. Jason, I think we're going on our second year full-time working together, bud. It's you've really come a long way. Really enjoy working with you. Want to say thanks to everybody else that we've had on the team, but you were the guy that stepped up for the Northwest and carried us to the finish along with me, and I've enjoyed it. I know you've enjoyed it. This will be the end of my 4th season being the voice of the Northwest Racing Series, going into season 5 next year. I don't plan on going anywhere. I don't think you plan on going anywhere, and just looking for more talent. If anybody out there is interested, let me say this in an honest way. Don't message us and say you want to do it and then start negotiating what your prices want to be, or negotiating when you're available or what you can and can't do. We want to find people that are committed to doing the job. And if you can't do it, don't waste our time messaging Charles Luke. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. As one of the third part members of the company with Jeff and Charles, I'm telling you, don't waste our time. We need people that are devoted, committed. And Jason, I want to say, buddy, thank you for stepping up and doing what you've done. And hopefully you're back with us next year. We still got other races going on. What is it? Stars and Stripes. We've got the World Outlaw, Road to Pro qualifiers, NASCAR Road to Pro qualifiers. We've got the sprint car, butt kicker, sprint car, Road to Pro qualifiers. You've got the special events.
Too much.
Yeah, we're not done. We're not done. So, and I promise you, we'll be right back around here. By the way, speaking of iRacing, if you want to put the QR code on the bottom right for the final time so we can find some stuff to talk about. Want to join iRacing? The holiday season is around the corner. Scan the QR code on the screen. We'll keep it up for about 2 laps. And to find out more information on iRacing, go to iRacing.com. If you are a subscriber in the past, want to sign up again, please do. Of course, new specials and offers for new members as well. Sign up for iRacing.
50% off.
What is it? 50% off. That's right.
50% off until Black Friday.
Here.
Yep.
50% off.
50%
there you go. Hit that damn QR code. Click it. We'll keep it up for another lap. Then it disappeared. Click it. It really works. Pull out your phone. Hit the camera. And QR code it. iRacing.com.
Scan that dang thing.
Scan it. That's right.
Oh, boy. Yeah, but you know something, Wesley, too? I've had so much fun calling this with y'all here in the last year and a half now. It's been such a growing experience for myself being an aspiring broadcaster, as getting to know all these guys, all the drivers, all the personalities, all the different people that we've met. It's been such a great time here. And, in just a handful of laps, it'll be the end of our season for the Northwest, which is really our main thing. For me and you being East Coast, it gets late for us, but we love doing this. We love these drivers. We love the series. We love the people at home that watch us, that listen to us on CRN. It's been a great time here, and I'm very happy to be back next year full-time with LSRTV again.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. Glad you're along for the ride. We will have fun. We'll see you again. I say this jokingly. Happy Turkey Burger Day. Happy Thanksgiving. Black Friday if you're shopping. You will not catch me in that nonsense. I'm telling you. I'll be either doing racing or... Actually, you know what? For Black Friday and for the weekend, I'm actually doing a basketball tournament for radio for 3 days. So I'm going to be doing that. The racing on Sunday. Of course, racing this weekend. Football Friday night. Speaking of the playoffs for the Northwest, the playoffs continue for the Road to State. Clayton versus Cardinal Gibbons. Airtime Friday night on CRN, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We win this game, we're going to the 4th round of the Eastern Regional Semifinals. Then it's on to the Regional Championships if we win that, and then the State Football Championship. So Clayton, racing for Charles on the weekend, RC cars. Oh, real racing. Yeah, it never stops for Charles in Texas.
He lives in the middle of the desert, basically. He's just in the low-class desert.
Always fun catching up with all of our great people. And by the way, To our entire viewing audience, listening audience, we just want to say sincerely on behalf of everybody at Rocket Racing Media, LSRTV, Community Radio Network, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Boone, all of our crew, thank you. Thank you. We enjoy what we love to do. We're not saying goodbye yet because this race isn't over, as we still got about 35 laps to go, but I mean, we really ran out of stuff to talk about. There's nothing going on the racetrack. Hey, Frank Harris, go Oregon Ducks. And Frank Harris is having a good run for him tonight. Got a league or a special event coming up, contact us today. Get a quote, LiveSimRacingTV.com, the only iRacing broadcast server that broadcasts on YouTube channel in 4K Ultra HD. Oh, I'm understanding we got more, often imitated, never duplicated. We're the first that did it. We were the first. And Charles said, damn it, they figured out our secret. No, it's been fun. We've enjoyed it. We hope that you and yours have a great Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Happy Thanksgiving. And hope you've enjoyed us, being able to come into your living rooms, on your cell phones, your laptops, you're at work for a diversion for a couple of hours every Monday and Wednesday night. And right now, Dan West Jr. trying to do something that's never been done in the history of the Northwest Virtual Sim Series. And Jason, that is a father-son championship in the same year. Devin West won the truck title Monday night. And Father Dan is trying to lock it up. But you've got Sean Breitzman and Ryan Bloom, 1, 2, and 3. The only difference is Breitzman and Bloom are losing ground on the 55.
Hold on yet. Don't just count your chickens. That 46 machine is about 0.2 of a second faster right now than that 55 machine. He is just under now 2 seconds behind this 55. I think, Wesley, if this race goes green all the way to the end, I think this 46 very well could catch this 55, so it's not over yet.
It ain't over until the fat lady sings, as they say, and I mean that in no disrespect to you liberals out there. She ain't even worn up her pipes just yet. Hey, let's take a break, side by side. Network ID for the final time of the year, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series. By the way, before we go to break, thank you, Kevin Smith, CLICKIT RV, for their continued sponsorship support as being, of course, the family from the Northwest Series and our broadcast coverage as well. We'll take our final commercial break and pause for 10 seconds of radio identification. The Northwest CLICKIT RV on the CRN Community Radio Network from Virtual Auto Club Speedway. The finish next.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race on Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, this is it. Under 25 laps to go. The final laps of the season. Robert Campbell chiming in, by the way, Jason. He says, don't quit. I need to improve before I get back in the booth. Hey, we had Robert Campbell. Remember we had Robert Campbell in the booth? That was fun back in the Ford series when he following a race.
James Vining.
And by the way, in regards to Paul Newton, this is where us road racing people don't have the best pit strategy. Referring to Paul Newton, Robert Gamble chiming in. Hopefully we'll see Robert Gamble next year. Well, this is it. Final 25 laps, 50 miles of the season of the year here at the Virtual Auto Club Speedway. I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside Charles Wooten, handling the production. The interval is now 12 cars in the lead lap. 31 seconds from first to 12th. The leader is still Dan West Jr. as you watch Chidrick and King go at it for 7th and 8th. And West has a 1.2 second lead on Sean Brightsman. And that's continuing to grow, Jason, on the 46 for the 55 in the late going.
Yeah, I mean, the 46, though, is still right there. The gap is about to get almost to under a second now. Like I said, Wesley, don't count this 46 out. I think he's a little bit faster than this 55, and he's going to have just a little bit more than 20 laps to try to get it done. Watch out for the Brights Boutique Supra. He might have something for DWJ.
There's the 46, Sean Brightsman, Puyallup, Washington native, now from Tucson, Arizona, the land of cactus. Brightsman trying to run down. Why you laugh? What's so funny? What is it?
The way you said Arizona.
The land of cactus.
Cactus.
Still on the West Coast, okay? It's still on the West Coast. 2020 Northwest Cup champion of the 46. The land of the year. Yeah, they got the. Yeah, we won't go there. 20 laps to go at the line. There you see on the bottom, Dan West Jr. He says, come and get me, partner. Because they are partners. They are teammates. Sean Brightsman in second. Jeff Stabnow will make the official enshrinement to the champion. As always for the Northwest when this event's over. He's one lap down, but don't bail on us. And I'll tell you what, Jason, a different run for Jeff tonight as well. Second in the trucks behind Devin West. Tonight, just struggling, just not able to do anything with that car. Look at him fighting it down the corner.
Yeah, it's been a lot of troublesome for some of these guys tonight. Tyler King, BJ's Hendrick, but BJ's up 11 spots right now from where he started. This is a good recovery, compared to Monday night. So it's good to see BJ running very well in that In-N-Out Burger Chevy Camaro. So maybe he can end the season possibly with a top 5 if he can catch Chris White.
There's Kendrick. Solid run for B.J. Tindrick, by the way, the In-N-Out Burger Machine in 7th. Oh, Tyler King almost slammed the safer barrier to the backstretch going to 3. Everybody is just kind of wheeling and dealing and content with where they're at, just kind of waiting for the laps to wind down. 17 to go at the line this time by. To go, actually. I think I jumped the gun, Jason.
Happens, but guess what? Look at that gap. 0.5 of a second, and it's shrinking. Brightsman catching DWJ for this lead. It is not over. We have ourselves a battle for this championship. And if these two tangle, Ryan Bloom right there to pounce.
We've seen several times, though, on occasions where Dan West Jr. plays possum with them, and then all of a sudden he hits those afterburners. You got to know that's his teammate there. You see him coming off of turn 2, Ryan Bloom as well. This is Team LSRTV going at it for the championship. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman. Sean Brightsman cutting it into 3/4 of a second. Now a 1/4 of a second now. As they work in off of turn number 4 to the line. 16 to go. You know Dan West Jr. sees him in the rearview mirror there, Jason. He sees him.
Oh, yeah. He sees him for sure right now, and that gap is continuously closing right now. Look at it. It's all the way down to 0.3 of a second. This 46 by pitting just a few laps after. It's just been such a great deal for this 46 to be doing what he's doing. He is almost there to the back bumper.
15 laps to go. Dan West Jr., can he hold on to try to join the West family as champions for both the trucks and the fixed setup car series? Sean Brightsman trying to come in and spoil the party. One's from Shelton, Washington, the other one from Tucson, Arizona, originally from Puyallup, Washington, but they're teammates. They're part of the same team, the same fabric of the Northwest. How will they race to the finish? How will it turn out this time by? When they come to the line, Jason, it's 14 laps to go. 28 miles left to go with the season here at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, and Sean Brightsman is now starting to fall off just a little bit, maybe because he overdrove the car a little bit, but you see Dan West Jr. taking away that line that Sean Brightsman has been running most of the night. He just can't close in like he was now that DWJ took away that line. Also, dirty air, big factor as well for this 46 machine. You see him starting to close in though. Like I said, not over yet, coming to 13 to go.
Let's go on board with Dan West Jr. real quickly. I want to see if he's got clean air in front of him, or are there cars in the way of the leaders? Right now, that's the perfect view for a leader right now. Jason is seeing no cars in sight. Oh boy, listen to Sean Brightsman fighting that car up the banking out of turn number 1 and 2, Jason. That might be what's hurting the 46.
Yeah, like I said, he's just in dirty air compared to the 55. Clean air is everything that the 55 can do, and obviously, you know, we talked about it the other night. Devin West, he said that clean air meant a lot when you were the race leader in the trucks. The same could obviously be said about the Xfinity Series car, but with 12 laps to go, if Sean Brightsman wants to get around this 55, might have to save a little bit of tires here for a couple laps, or find another faster lane around the 55.
Sean Brightsman now cutting it to 0.4 of a second. Trying to reel in. Dan West Jr. trying to get one more last charge at him. Coming to the line. 11 laps to go this time by when they come to the stripe. Lap number 113, 114 on the board. West and Brightsman. Jason, I can't believe that we've gone 115 laps caution free. I'm just blown away. It just shows you, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but it just shows you the respect that all these drivers have for one another. And secondly, the patience that they have. And thirdly, that just, this was a calm race. This wasn't anything crazy tonight like we've seen in years past, or no vendettas or paybacks or anything like that. Just go out there and race, may the best man win. 20 miles left on the year.
Oh yeah, and it's been super fun, obviously, to watch these two guys go out at here, these handful of laps that we've seen here tonight, and a majority of this season. And just to think it's all going to come down to these next 9.5 laps to crown ourselves the 2023 Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series champion.
To the line, single digits on the board, 9 to go. Dan West Jr. continuing to stay up in front. Here comes Sean Brightsman trying to cut the interval off again. He's cut it down to 2/10 off of what it was. Now it's down about 1/4 second. Brightsman starting to reel him in. Bait on a hook. Can he get there, Jason? Can he find a way to get through the dirty air as they work into turn number 3?
It's still 0.4 seconds right now. He's going to have to do something different. Last time around, Brightsman about 1/100th faster than his 55. He got a great run off that corner, gaining a few hundredths there, but still 0.4 seconds at the line. Dan West Jr. faster than Sean Brightsman by about 0.10 of a second. The gap is still right there. Dan West Jr. faster to the corner. Sean Brightsman better on exit. And Chris White having to pit again, probably due to obviously pitting so early. So obviously everybody else pretty good all the way, Wesley, but Chris White having to pit due to pitting so early, or because maybe he just shot those tires out completely.
We'll find out. Remember, Chris White pitted maybe about 5 laps before anybody else did. Can we go to the finish? Could they be saving fuel? That's another thing that might be a strategy that they're talking about. If that's the case, and they can't go to the finish, Jason, Dan West Jr. could pit on lap number 123, 122. I hope that doesn't happen.
I think these guys have enough.
Yeah.
I think personally they do. I don't think they're going to have to pit, but if they do, they're going to have to save some kind of fuel right now. And right now, this gap is literally shrunken between West and Brightsman. It is down almost at a 0.2 seconds. This is the best opportunity that Sean Brightsman has had all night long here in this last run. 6 laps to go, and the 46 closes, but gets a little bit tight on exit, but he's right there almost. A car length behind the 55 here. 5.5 laps to go in California.
By the way, I was going to say Robert Campbell in the box. I thought maybe he wasn't here. He's actually in the race. He's on 12th, 1 lap down, as they're getting ready to work their way off of turn 4 to the Tri-Oval here at Auto Club. 10 miles in the race, in the season, the game of cat and mouse going on with teammates. 5 to go here at Auto Club. Dan West Jr. under attack by Brightsman into 1.
Brightsman trying to close this gap right now. He gets right there, but TWJ still taking the air away. Brightsman, though, seemingly has been just as good on the exit now. The gap's starting to close. It's almost just a 10. Brightsman might have to do something different into 3 and 4. They'll both run to the bottom here, down into 3 and 4 this time, coming to 4 to go.
mimicking one another in unison. Now Dan West Jr. goes to the top of the safer barrier. Sean Brightsman will follow, trying to cut off that draft to the lead. Right now, 4 laps to go. Brightsman up high. To the apron is Dan West Jr. He'll go high. Almost slams the safer barrier. Drops back down to the bottom as they work into turn 2.
I think if Brightsman wants to have any opportunity, Wesley, he can't follow the 55 down below that apron. Oh, and the 55 nearly into the wall. Turn number 2. But if Brightsman wants to try to pass the 55, he can't go below the apron down the front straightaway. It just wears out more of that right front tire, which you need right now this late into a run. And if he wants to pass him off one of these corners, Wesley, he's going to have to go from the top, cut it down to the bottom, and diamond the corner. 3 laps to go in California.
3 laps, 6 miles, California dreaming. Who's going to be the champion? Couple of teammates going at it. Dan West Jr., his son Devin, wanted in the truck.
He's got to run!
Right it on. Here comes Brightsman with a big draft in the back straightaway.
He had a great run there off turn number 2, Wesley. He dived into the corner just like I thought he was gonna. He's right to the back bumper. Nearly pushes him into 3 here for just a handful of turns left in this race. And the 55 up the racetrack. Here comes Brightsman. He gets loose though. They're sideways off turn number 4. 2 laps to go for the championship.
Both cars were sideways, hitting almost into the wall with the 55. Brightsman was third, tracking it off the corner into 3 and 4. Back to 1 and 2. It's now left to the bottom, hugging the white line to the bottom of the apron. He's got about 2 car lengths now. Brightsman on the draft, down at 2 with the pulling up. Here he comes after him again.
2 laps to go, now making a lap and a half. Brightsman has another one. Will he try the bottom? He fakes high. He'll go to the outside, right to the back bumper of DWJ. Tries the diamond effect. The 55 backs up his exit. Brightsman right to the back bumper. Tacks arrow in the left rear of the car. They both get loose. White flag is in the air. It all comes down to this. 1 lap to go in this season finale in California.
Final time of the year. Here comes Brightsman. He now makes a run on the outside. He's going to power up on the top. Dan West Jr. continues to hold that momentum. They're still strike for strike. Single file on the bottom for the final time.
Oh, they get loose off the corner. They're almost into the wall. Here comes Brightsman down the back straightaway for the championship. How lap to go? Brightsman, West, who's going to be for the final time? Wesley into 3.
Here they come out of turn number 3 and 4. Dan West Jr. gets too high. He has lost the momentum. He's in the wall. John Brightsman's in the lead. He comes to the line. He'll John Brightsman, teammates, Dan West Jr. battle for the championship for the race. And John Brightsman gets around Dan West Jr. to be the champion of 2023 in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series.
Have you ever?
A couple of times.
A couple times. What a race though. Man, I knew it. I said to myself, I don't know if the 46 is going to have the time, but as I started to see that ticker start to get shrunk more and more between the 46 and the 55, I said to myself, man, this 46 might have a chance. Then all of a sudden, 20 laps to go, the 46 just turned on the electricity in him, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he was at the front. Great job. He pressured the 55. He did the diamond effect. Sean Brightsman with the drive of the year those last 10 laps for sure.
Charles, let's show the last lap. That last lap is worth watching one more time. Watch the 46 and the 55. Final lap of the season. Final lap of the year. Who wants it more? I think it all culminated when they were coming to the white flag. Right now, where did it all change, Jason, as they went off into turn 1? They almost ran each other up the racetrack.
Yeah, the 55, almost shades of Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth back in 2015 at Kansas. Thankfully, didn't end the same way. But right here, the 55 loses it out of the corner. The 46 gets a good enough run, doesn't run into the back of him. He's able to get down to the bottom, and this is where it all goes south for the 55, down into 3. You see the 46 machine gets down to the bottom. They're side by side, and if Dan West Jr. doesn't gas it up so early right here, he could have tried the crossover move on the 46, but once he got into the wall, you know what they say, Wesley, it's all she wrote.
Into the safer barrier and lost all that momentum. And by the way, when Sean Brightsman got to the inside, he got into the clean air. And now for the final time of the year, we present to you an extended Northwest high five salute as they're going to tear up the champion car. Ryan Bloom third. There you see Ritters. Oh, we got one coming in full song. John Annenbacher, teammate to Sean Brightsman. He's on the back straightaway. Hopefully they're all back around when he comes back around. Sean Brightsman, a former Cup Series champion in 2020. And now a champion in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series. Let's watch John Annenbacher. Got to go to the grass, buddy. Dive to the grass. Dive to the infield. Here you come, Bonsai! Who's it going to be? Whoa, holy hell. Hey, Robert Gamble.
I hope Robert Gamble's all right to drive for next season, man. He might have to go to the hospital.
RGL Motorsports. Upside down, man. Wow. I thought maybe he was absent by chatting in the chat box. That's not true. We just seen him go airborne to close out the year. One final bonsai of the season. Let's take a look at the results for the final race of the year here tonight at Auto Club. Man, oh man. Sean Brightsman is your champion. Last lap turn, corner, back straightaway, made it on Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. will be second. Ryan Bloom is third. Those are your top three, by the way, in the points, as well as Paul Newton finishing seventh. He'll be fourth when the season ends. Ryan Gormley, the prodigy, don't count him out for next year. Big things in that Supra number 22. Top five for BJ Tendrick also. Tyler King, Paul Newton, as I mentioned. Frank Harris, what a run for Frank and team. Aero Kinetics in the top 10 with two cars. Troy Daggett ninth, and that other driver in the team in the top 10 for, of course, Stephen Paulus and Jason.
Yeah, and then to round out the rest of your field for the final time here in 2023, Toby Ritter's just shy of a top 10. Robert Gamble comes home 12th. John Ottenbacher, Nichols, Jeff Stabnow, 15th after running very well up at the front earlier on. Something of a miss on the 24 machine here tonight. Chris White, strategy just didn't play his way, falls short, 16th. And James Vining, Dana Rogers, round out your 18-car field here tonight for the final race of the 2023 Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series.
Final race summary of the year presented by, of course, Virginia811.com. No cautions. Caution free. 6 lead changes. The one that counted the most was, of course, when Sean Brightsman got around Dan West Jr., his teammate and friend there at the end. Time of race, almost 1 hour and 29 minutes. For a 2 hour, 20-minute time limit. Good show for these drivers. Of course, when it's said and done, Sean Brightsman gets the win. Coming up post-race, we'll grab the podium. We'll grab Jeff Stabnow to make the enshrinement to his teammate and, of course, Northwest driver Sean Brightsman. He's done it in Cup. He does it now in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series. Flag to flag at Auto Club. A last lap pass on teammate Dan West Jr. Hey, and by the way, Devin West, Sean Brightsman, both for Team LSRTV. They'll finish on top again for 2023. We wrap things up when we return. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fix Series. For the final time at Auto Club Speedway, Jason Rockefeller has had to depart for the rest of the evening and for the season. He wanted to send a big thank you to everybody for tuning in and listening. He always enjoys working with everyone, and we'll see him again in 2024. It is time for the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race update. We'll grab the podium. We'll have Jeff Stabnow enshrine the champion and the race winner, Sean Brightsman, in a few moments as well. First off, we talked to him on Monday at the podium. He'll be on the podium again tonight. Brian Bloom, nothing wrong with a top 3 effort for both championship drives to build up for next year, man. Your take of tonight's race, and did you think it was going to go caution-free like it did?
I wasn't sure. I was thinking on Monday night there wouldn't be as many cautions, so I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe there was a caution this one. I really wish we could have had one there.
Right.
Pretty early on, where I got a little impatient and trying to get around Dan and got a little out of sorts and kind of lost some time there and never, with no cost or anything, never really had a chance to regroup and never close the gap. I wish I wouldn't have done that because I would have had a better seat for that finish. Even if I wouldn't have done that, it would have been really tough to beat those guys. There's a reason they've won 10 or now 11 races, I think, on the year. I think it was a fitting finish to have those two battling out. They were the best all year, so can't wait to go back and watch that replay. Congrats to Sean and for another championship. I'm not sure how many that is, but yeah, great race, and congrats to Dan on another great season. And overall it's fun, nothing to hang my head about. I'm the only one that can say they went 0 for 2 in the championship, so that's cool.
What's it like, though, to just go through the entire season and to at least make it, if you will, to the championship to the end of the road, and at least somehow ending up on a podium finish? And you know what it's like to be a Northwest champion. Obviously, you're a first-time ARCA Northwest champion back in 2020.
I'm pretty proud of the season and be able to make it this far in this Fix Series. Obviously, we put a lot more time into the trucks, and that's kind of what our focus is on as a team. But I love getting in this league and not have to worry about setups or anything like that, and just driving the car, and it's just a lot of fun to race and some really talented drivers, and the competition's great. I love it. Looking forward to next year. But yeah, I take away some things from this week, I guess, like things I would do different. Hopefully I can improve on in the future and have another crack at it, and hopefully racing Dan and Sean again next year for a championship.
Well, listen, before I let you go for the final time this year, man, thank your sponsors on that number 25 for Win Racing, and we'll see you next year. Have a great holiday season.
Thanks, Wesley. You too. Once again, for the last time, I just want to thank CLICKIT RV for support of the series, sponsoring the team, our team, Win Racing, and you guys for putting on great broadcasts. And my teammates, been a hell of a lot of fun this year racing with all those guys, and can't wait to, after some time off, get back to it and get going again for next year. And last but not least, big thanks to Sean and Jeff and the time they put in for this league. It's just a lot of fun, and I love doing it. And yeah, just hoping to maybe get a little better next year and bring home one of those championships.
Win Racing's number 25, Ryan Bloom, will settle for third. Shades of what he did in the trucks on Monday night, again for the championship here for the Northwest Fix Series CLICKIT RV program. Let's go to the runner-up of the night, Dan West Jr. Dan, I know you wanted to be the champion, a two-time series champion, 2020, 2021. Obviously, your son Devin won the truck championship on Monday night. I know you wanted to have the West family as champions for both. Just kind of fell short there. If you could do anything differently in that race, what would you have done? And obviously your take of racing a teammate and friend in Sean Brightsman to battle for the finish and the race victory for the championship.
Thanks, Wesley. First of all, I would have went one more lap on that first stint, so that caused me to be a couple laps short, and I was having to clutch it pretty good, save a lot of fuel on that last run. As far as racing with Sean and Ryan, it was awesome. I mean, I don't have to worry about any. We race each other hard, but give each other room at the same time, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
Coming down to the end was awesome. The only thing that would have been better is if I had Ryan in there and all three of us battled it out on the last lap. That would have been really cool to see. So as far as, Ryan has nothing to hang his head about. I understand his frustration. I'm bummed. I mean, to come up that short there, to be able to say I won a championship the same season my kid did, that's
right.
It's kind of a bummer, but at the end of the day, it was fun, right? We're out here to have a good time. So, I lost against a champion that shows he's a champion and deserves it.
Of course, Dan West Jr. joining us. He'll finish second, and when the season ends, he will be the runner-up in the points as well for the year with 5 wins, 4 poles, 13 top 5s, and 16 top 10s. Jason, I'm sorry, Dan, me and Jason were talking about this during the races when I was trying to refer to. Did you think this race was going to be caution-free? Why do you think that was? And if there were going to be cautions, do you think that would have changed the entire scenarios of the race?
Yeah, I think it would have totally changed the scenario, especially towards the end there. I think it would have tightened up probably 5 cars, definitely. As far as thinking there was a caution, I don't know, Wesley. You never know. It's like Ryan says, you think you'd go into the truck race where everybody practices. You would think that they would have a better handle on their trucks, and we would just go, green, white, checker, right? But, we get into these cars and, they're easier to drive, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, towards that last stint, I could definitely use the caution, so I didn't have to save so much. But at the end of the day, it was a good race.
Dan, what do you work on for this race and this season to prepare for next year to make yourselves even bigger and better than you've already been for Team LSRTV? And I guess at the end of the day, that's the end game for the Team LSRTV, to be champions at the top of the mountain when the season ends. Yeah,
I mean, we work hard. Win Racing works hard. All these drivers that come out here each and every week, they're putting time in and working hard. So, I feel fortunate. I mean, luck has to go your way too to be able to get these championships. So, Win Racing had everything going their way to win it, and it's just one of those races that didn't play out. So, as far as preparing for next year, I'm just gonna, just show up and have fun, man. That's all you can do, and try. Well, obviously next year we need to work harder on our truck program and try to give those guys a little bit more of a handful than what we did this year, because basically we were getting our butts handed to us by Win Racing.
Well, Dan, for the final time this year, buddy, thank your sponsors, and we'll see you in 2024. Have a great holiday season, man.
Thanks, you too, Wesley. First of all, congrats to Sean. Awesome champion, awesome race. Congrats to Ryan, bringing it home third, bud. I know it's a bummer, but just don't hang your head. You don't need that. So, Effective Web Solutions, LSRTV, CRN Sports. Appreciate all you guys do. Thank you again.
Dan West Jr. from Shelton, Washington, his son, the champion for the trucks, a 2-time series truck champion for Dan West Jr. will settle for the runner-up spot this year with teammate Sean Brightsman in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series. Sean Brightsman, as we mentioned, 2020 Northwest Cup Series champion. If I'm behind schedule, please jump in here, Sean, and let me know some of your other accolades and successes. But I want to say this is your first Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Championship. Congratulations to you. And obviously, what did it mean to battle with a teammate and friend and Dan West Jr.? A lot of respect earned and gained out there amongst the whole year to decide the finish of this race, and you're on top.
Oh, Wesley, man. What a freaking race. What an amazing race. I can't believe I eked it out there over Dan. He had that thing dominated there for basically the whole race. So to consider myself a champion in this fixed series, I'm beyond thrilled, and with all 4 of the championship contenders. I mean, it was a brutal battle all season long. We just eked out at the right time.
Right time, obviously. When did you know when you needed to go after Dan West Jr. for the finish?
From the start of the race. No, I knew he was going to be fast. I figured we were going to have I figured we were going to have some cautions. We ran practice last night, and there was a lot of fun, multiple grooves, all that sort of racing. It just didn't really take place tonight. A little short on car count, and obviously as a championship contender, you're going to take it a little, I guess, more seriously at that point, more cautious. So, but really for the end of the race there, it was about getting to him to save some fuel for myself in case I needed to, and then push him so he would run out. And didn't quite get close enough immediately. So just like I said, one lap different, we'd be talking a different story.
John, how do you adapt so quickly, and not speaking on behalf of yourself, but everyone on the Northwest Series, to these races when they go caution-free? Because obviously, when you're in the broadcast booth, when you're on the racetrack, when you're in the race directing spot, you're literally thinking there's probably going to be yellow flag time during any broadcast or race that we ever do. Whenever it starts to come to fruition that we're not going to see a yellow flag, or at least for a long 100-lap green flag run, what do you do to change the strategy race-wise, finish-wise, to somehow be there at the end of the event in a flag-to-flag race, actually?
I mean, it's a little tough to say. I mean, in every long run, there's a short run, so you kind of have to push it on the short run to make sure you're not losing a lot of time, and also save at the same time to make sure you have the long run to catch up to people or change a strategy or pit or. But it's kind of everywhere. So it's just when it goes green like that, it really is just a matter of kind of pre-planning a little. Once I saw Dan pit there prior to where I was planning to pit on that first run, I knew I was going to pull a different strategy and had to pray for it to go green the whole way.
Final question, and we'll bring in Jeff Stabnow from the Northwest Racing Series to enshrine you in as the champion, as we always do. What's it mean to win this championship? How many championships have you got? I'm looking at just the Cup title, right? I mean, as long as I've been here for over 4 years, I know you were the 2020 Cup champion. I know you've got this one here tonight, but what does it mean, though, to have it for Team LSRTV and obviously be at the top of the mountain for both the trucks and Xfinity at the end of the year?
It means a lot. As far as championships, I think I've got a co-championship in the Truck Series with Mark Walls, and then I think a solo one before Dan took over and started winning all the championships. So,
okay.
Fixed. I love racing fixed. I don't put as much time as a lot of the Win Racing group and everybody at LSRTV when we're working together. I will run laps, but I don't put in as much time as those guys do. So, not as prevalent in the Truck Series a lot of times, but it means a lot. I mean, everybody that races this series, everybody wants to win a championship, and everybody wants to say they beat Dan West Jr. They want to beat me. They want to beat Jeff Stabnow or Ryan Bloom or Paul Newton, who is no longer, by the way, a sneaky road course guy. This guy is an oval. He's changing into an oval guy, by the way.
To make the official enshrinement of the champion for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series of the 2023 season, number 4 from Billings, Montana, Jeff Stabnow. Jeff, what do you got to say to the champion and a teammate and a friend in Sean Brightsman for the Northwest Racing Series, sir?
Well, first of all, congratulations to all 4 of the finalists there. It was a long season, and it was a heck of a fight to get there. So that's Paul Newton, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., and Sean Brightsman. Sean, there's not too many firsts as long as you've been doing this, but I had to search high and low for one, and I think this isn't your first championship. It's not your first Fixed Series championship, but it is your first Xfinity Series championship. So, and I do believe you're the first driver that has a championship in all 3 series that we've run, which is the Truck, Cup Cars, and the Xfinity. So congratulations on a heck of a season, man. And on behalf of yourself, myself, and the Northwest Racing Series, congratulations on season 4 of the Northwest Fixed Series, Fixed Xfinity Series, and our 2023 champion, Sean Brightsman.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that, and thank you to CLICKIT RV for sponsoring the series and season. Thank you, and great job finding some first. I had no idea. Great information there for me.
Jeff, what do you take from this year on the officiating standpoint of the operations of not just the Northwest Racing Series, which, by the way, Sean Brightsman, one of your right-hand men, in keeping this virtual sim organization afloat, not just also for Rocket Racing Media, but also for LSRTV and the broadcast. But what do you say to our audience listening or watching for the final time of the year? Obviously, 2024 will be upon us. And what's the plans for some of the things to come for, obviously, the future? I mean, we wrapped up, season 10 for the trucks, 4th year for bringing back the CLICKIT RV fixed setup series. And I think a lot of people had a lot of fun with this class this year. And obviously, I think the sky's the limit for the best virtual drivers of the Northwest Racing Series.
Well, I think there was about 10 questions in there. So I'll start with
there was 2 wrapped into a lot of elaboration, okay, smart Alec?
So I'll start out with Sean is not my right-hand man. He is my partner in crime. We both blood, sweat, and tears to make this series happen every year. And Sean gets the dirty work. So, big thanks to Sean for being the guy that all the drivers get to complain about, as the officiating person, the steward of the league. And, thanks for all the hard work that he does in just making it happen. Thanks to LSRTV, for the wonderful coverage that they do. Charles is the best producer in all of iRacing. He's been doing 4K shows now for 2 years, and we're just starting to see some from the other guys. So, Charles is an amazing guy, and it's amazing what he does with LSRTV. And of course, Wesley, you, the voice of LSRTV, the voice of the Northwest, do a fantastic job. Jason and Terry, who worked on the leagues this year, great job. Congratulations to Terry and his newborn. That's the reason he couldn't finish the season with us. And Jason is just fantastic at what he does. So we're lucky just to have the league put in the light that you guys put it in. If there's anybody that actually watches us besides family members that feel obligated to watch us, then thanks to them for sticking with us the whole season. And hopefully we put on a good show for you. As far as what to expect, it's been a long year. I mean, we've been doing this, 9 months, something like that. So it's time for a little bit of R&R. So we'll probably take a break till sometime in January or so, and then we'll start getting together and planning the next season, setting out our driver surveys and putting the next season together. And, hopefully sometime in February, we'll be making an announcement as to the start, whether it's going to be late February or early March, who knows. Hopefully we'll be putting an announcement out there in February.
What classes do you think? I mean, could we see the fixed setups coming back? Could we see the Cup cars returning? Obviously, the trucks were the premier for a long time. They are the premier of the Northwest. They used to be a Wednesday, Thursday night program. Then you moved them to Monday night. Are there things that you're looking on tweaking or changing, or will it be kind of the don't rock the boat, keep everything the same as it was for this year?
I don't know. We'll probably, the fixed series, we broke that up this year and we ran some fun summer series. I don't know if we're going to do that again or not. We haven't even had those conversations. A lot of what we do might be based on some feedback we get from the drivers. Did they like the break this summer? Did they like the mini series? Things like that will probably affect what we do. I don't think you'll see the truck series go anywhere. That's been the staple of the Northwest Racing Series forever. So I don't know if there's any changes going to come to the fixed series, but we'll talk about that in the offseason. I doubt there'll be anything too big
Gotcha.
coming down the pipe.
Gotcha. Charles Wooten, would not be fitting to let you chime in and say some words, man. I know you've been a part of the LSRTV Northwest Racing Series family for a long time. Rocket Racing Media. I can't believe that me and you are going on 5 years working together since COVID. And man, I think the world of all of you guys. I love all of y'all. for all of the audience, for the listeners and people that we work together. We're like a family. Sometimes we're cussing each other out and telling people to go to hell, and then the next minute we're right there in need for somebody when somebody's hurting or need prayer or just trying to come together to make it work. And I think that's the nice way of summing it up, family. Because sometimes you get along with your family, and then sometimes you want to kill them. Obviously can't do it virtually when you got everybody all gathered around the country. But I say that in a humble and a sincere way, Charles. It's always great working together and making all these work productions take place.
Yes, I'm happy. Jeff mentioned me. That makes me happy there. It's always fun doing Northwest. And I think I speak for everybody here that, you know that saying, oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven? Well, I've rewritten that to say, oh, thank heaven, no more starting races at 11, at least till 2024.
That's true. Yes, we burn the midnight oils for sure. It's almost 2 a.m., 1 o'clock Central, of course, almost 10, 11 o'clock around the West Coast and the Mountain Time. So, hey, listen, we hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to all of our crew, everybody that make this happen. Sean Brightsman, champion of the Northwest CLICKIT Series. Thanks to CLICKIT RV. Thank you to Kevin Smith. Thank you and congratulations to Devin West. For all of our crew, Wesley Outland, we'll see you next year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving. 2024 will be here before you know it. And we thank you for watching.